All right. Hey, everyone. Melanie back again. And this time I have an incredibly special guest. I'm really excited to bring her on today. And she is just one incredible woman, Pam Lord, on the line today. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Mel. This is so exciting.
Oh, it's so good to have you. I, first of all, love you, obviously. You're amazing. And I love what you do in the world as a Theta healing practitioner and master instructor. So I'm imagining there's a lot of people out there that are like, Theta, what? I don't know what that means. So can you tell us just right off the bat sort of what it is that you do that's magical and transformative in the world?
Yes, and it's hard for me to explain it to myself, Melanie, as you know, but the Theta healing technique is a meditation technique where the practitioner goes to the theta brainwave, and that's the quantum physics side of Theta healing. And it's a spiritual philosophy with the purpose of just getting our body, mind, and spirit aligned so we can live the best life. And for me, my life changed exponentially when I first found out about this amazing healing modality.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that was, what was happening for you that brought you into the world of Theta?
Well, I had a feeling, I was searching, and I think a lot of people have that yearning inside. There's more. What should I be doing? There's more. And I had tried different things, meditation, different philosophies, read lots of books, but nothing seemed to resonate with me. And I still had that yearning. And so on a plane to San Diego from Massachusetts one evening, October 2007, I begged God. I'm not beneath begging. And I said, I know you have a plan for me. At that time, I was 62 years old. And I felt I don't have much time left. And so I asked God to hit me over the head, because I don't take subtleties, and show me. So that was a Friday evening. On Monday morning, I was at my office. At that time, I was the director of admissions of a career education school in Massachusetts. And a woman contacted me. She was head of the legal department of Stibal Jewelry, which was a large jewelry company in Rhode Island. And she was burnt out, stressed out, and was looking for something different, another career. And she thought possibly what we had to offer at our school would be a good fit. And so I told her that I had time to meet with her on Tuesday at 9:30. That worked out perfectly. Maura Casey came into my office on Tuesday. Now, I'm not in a metaphysical school. After about 4 minutes, I realized that what she was looking for, we didn't offer at our school. And I told her that. I said, Maura, what you're looking for, you're not going to find here. And she said, I know. My spirit guide told me to come see you. And I'm thinking, holy moly. And so she said, I think you have a message for me. And then I remembered Friday night, I begged God. And I asked God to hit me over the head. And I said to her, I think you might have a message for me. Let's chat. And after about 3 minutes of conversation, she said the word, my Theta healer. Now, I had no idea what that was, but when those syllables hit my body, I had goosebumps all over, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood out. And I said, I need that person's name. And she said, well, I have the name, but I'll send you the contact information. And so Wednesday morning, I received an email with the contact information. I immediately called the person, had a Theta session on Saturday. Had no idea what it was. be honest, I wasn't really that impressed because I didn't really know what to expect. But
Sure.
as I drove home on this beautiful country road in October in Massachusetts, there was a portion of the road where the trees formed an archway, and there were gorgeous colors of golds and oranges and reds. And as I went under that archway, I heard these words as though someone was sitting in my car. This is who you are. This is who you are. And on the third, this is who you are, tears were streaming down my cheeks. I wasn't crying, but tears were streaming down my cheeks. And I was like, whoa, well, that sounds great, but I think there must be some training. And long story short, I looked on the internet, found someone in Rhode Island that was teaching the class the following week, and took the class, and my life has changed exponentially. That's how I got started in Theta healing.
That is an unbelievable story. And what I love about that so much, I mean, there's so many things. One piece that really stands out for me is that moment of this is who you are. And I feel like there are so many people out there, especially women, this podcast is for women after all, that are really hungry for that message, that clarity, that vision to come through as profoundly as it did for you. And if those women were listening right now, what would you say to them is kind of the moment that it all shifts and it allows that kind of clarity to come through? Like, what can help with that?
I feel so many of us feel at times we're too old, that we've lived our life. We should have done it sooner. I woulda, coulda, shoulda. You're not old. As I said, I was 62. And most people at my age, I'll be 75. I'm so excited. 75, holy moly. I am excited. And I have so much going on in my life. And so when you're searching, be in tune first of being open to what the universe holds for you. Don't have a preconceived notion of this is the path I have to take. I just wanted, we all have, I think all of us carry that seed inside of us of greatness, of who we are supposed to be when we walk this planet. We had a plan when we chose to come back and walk the planet. And through society, maybe parental expectations or expectations we put on ourselves, we have covered up that seed and haven't nurtured it. And every once in a while, the message comes and we go, well, I don't have the time. It's not the right time. But maybe, just maybe, if you sat and listened and pursued it, one baby step at a time, it would unfold. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just listening.
Yeah.
And hearing without the clutter.
I love that so much, because there's a place in here when I really heard you say, it's like, get out of your own way and let the universe guide you, reveal it to you, and let the pathway unfold. And that really is where I feel like the magic happens. And yet we block ourselves time and time again, because as you said, we think we know how it's supposed to be. And of course we have our own timeline. And as women, biologically and for other reasons too, there's certain factors in our lives that do put us in what I would call kind of boxes of where we think our life kind of fits in, or like you said, what we're supposed to be doing. And I feel like it really is so important for us to move aside and say, God, like, use me. Like you were on that plane that day going, hit me over the head with the 2x4. I need it, because that's how I am too, Pam. It's like, I don't need the whisper. I need the
yes,
smack.
Exactly.
Wake me up and show me. And I just,
And
Yeah,
don't be subtle about it. Don't be
yeah,
subtle, God. I don't take subtleties. That's my personality. And so God had to send me a lawyer to the school to give me the message. I mean, if it was somebody different, maybe someone who was into the woo-woo, I probably wouldn't have respected the message,
yeah,
because we all have our own little foibles and oh, things we think the message should come from or whatever. I don't know. But for me, that was the case. God had to say, okay, I'm going to send her a lawyer. I'm going to send her someone that she respects the message from, which isn't fair, but it's fact. And so that was interesting.
yeah. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful. And I'm curious too about this idea of really getting out of our own way, and that we have these ideas of what our life should look like. You know, a woman that, like you said, your age, right? It's like you have so much vibrancy and energy and excitement, and your life is so full. You're a living example of being able to be a source of inspiration and letting the universe and God guide you. And I feel like a lot of women get trapped in these pits of despair, or like unworthiness, or these scarcity mindsets. How do you help people as a theta healing practitioner, and women in particular, you know, get rid of these blocks so they can live their best and fullest life?
This is one of the best gifts. I call it the paycheck of the heart for me, witnessing how women, especially because I love building up women, how they change through theta healing. It's very painless. It's simple. It's not a therapy session. It's not guidance. In theta healing, we're taught how to shift limiting beliefs that we carry. And I'm just going to quickly share the different levels of where we all carry beliefs in our DNA. The first level we carry beliefs on is our core level, and that's everything that's ever been said to us from the moment of conception to today is imprinted in our DNA. It's like the hard drive of a computer. It doesn't spit out, that's not real, that's not true. The second level we carry beliefs on in our DNA is our genetic level, and that's everything your parents believe, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, going back about 7 generations. A lot of their beliefs are wonderful, but a lot of them are kind of cockamamie. We carry all their fears, all their doubts. The third level we carry beliefs on in our DNA is our history level, and those are all the beliefs that our ancestors before those 7 carry, and possibly past life experiences. Then our fourth level that we carry beliefs on is our deepest, deepest level. It's our soul level. So we have all these levels that we carry a lot of beliefs that do not serve us. Our core level, which is the level we're using right now, walking, talking, this lifetime, is only 10% of our total consciousness. So we're carrying beliefs in our DNA that no longer serve us, but they're there to protect us. I found in my practice, a lot of women do not feel worthy of love. It may not be on this level, but maybe their ancestors didn't feel worthy of love. Maybe on their maternal side. And when I say that to them, they go, that's right. I see my mother, my grandmother. And so we can change those limiting beliefs in our DNA. And that's the quantum physics side of theta healing. And instantly. And so when you change even that, when I witness, I'm not the healer, I witness God, universe, creator, source, whatever they choose, whatever word that is comfortable for them. I have lawn people going by, so if you hear any of that.
It's all good. Yeah, not much noise there.
Thank you. And so
I think that might be the universe talking to us. It's like, yep, this is true what she's saying.
So anyway, getting back, in Theta Healing, we can change the limiting beliefs. And science has now proven that DNA can be shifted by the spoken word.
Yeah.
And so basically, that's, as a Theta Healing practitioner, that's what we do. So we can change limiting beliefs, beliefs on scarcity mentality, lack, love, release fears, unnecessary fears that many of us carry.
Yeah.
A lot of people are more fearful of being successful than failure. A lot of women that I've worked with have a belief successful women are alone. And so they sabotage relationships. They're striving to become successful with their careers, etc. But then maybe their relationship side of their existence is not what they want. But subconsciously, they're the ones that are putting up that barrier. And so when we can shift that belief, then women find that they can have both without the fear of being alone. So did that answer? I hope that answered.
Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is we're walking around with all this stuff inside of ourselves, these limiting beliefs, these things that are in our DNA, that are in our subconscious that we're not fully even aware of. And these beliefs are blocking us from being able to attract into our lives and have the experiences that we deeply desire and crave. And theta healing is a way to cut through those beliefs, reprogram them, and switch them around so that we can have a different experience.
Exactly. And I, like most people, went to so many workshops. I invested a lot of time and energy going to different workshops on manifesting, on getting ahead, setting goals, purchasing the books, and in those days, cassettes, CDs. And I would be so excited, so pumped, and I would come home, and maybe after 3 or 4 days or a week, I would get back into my old funk again. And I could never understand why. And it's because I only bought that information on my core level. I had beliefs on these other levels. 88% of my consciousness had beliefs that were keeping me from achieving whatever I wanted to get out of that workshop. And it wasn't until I found Theta Healing that I found I had the magic. I finally had the golden ticket, the key to unlocking what was holding me back. It wasn't that I didn't have the knowledge. I had the blocks in my DNA that was protecting me because of what happened maybe to ancestors or me in another lifetime. And so I really find that the Theta Healing for me and with many of my clients is the golden ticket, the golden ticket.
And that's why I love Theta so much. And Theta Healing is because it fits into sort of the overall approach and what I do with clients and working through embodiment and through coaching. It brings it all together, right? We can't just meet ourselves at the mind level, that core level you're talking about of just that key part of us. It's like there's so much more. We got to get it in ourselves. We have to get it in our bodies fully to have lasting change. If we just meet ourselves at one level, it's like we might have some shifts in our life, but we don't completely flip things. We don't completely heal. We don't completely transcend. And then we're walking around going, why isn't my life better? We have to bring it all the way through the body and shift it fully so we can have a different experience.
Exactly. Another gift I found that was presented to me through Theta Healing is that so many of our beliefs and emotions cause physical illness. And so when you align your emotional being and your physical being, you don't get sick. I haven't been sick in, I can't remember how long, years and years and years. It's embarrassing. I don't even have aspirins in my home or Tylenol. Up until last week, when they said, oh, you should have Tylenol in case with the coronavirus, I'm like, ooh, I didn't even own a thermometer. So I went out to the store for the first time in I don't know how many years, over 20 years, bought Tylenol and bought a thermometer.
I love
Just
it.
and it didn't hit me till I went, Tammy, because you never get sick, baby. And so that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I know it's because of the fact that I've worked on myself. I've released fears, anger, resentment. Anger, resentment, and regret carry so much room in your cells that healing can't take place. Resentment, rejection, regret. And as women, we are great at hoarding those emotions. And so when we can release those with theta healing, our body has room to heal itself, which is so powerful. I've had people come to me who have, I'll just give you an example of one woman who was in the end stages of ovarian cancer. She was a doctor. And they only come to someone like me at the end stages. They've tried all the other things. And I asked her, what would be the worst thing that could happen to you if you woke up tomorrow morning and you were totally healthy? And she said, well, it would be incredibly awesome. It would be awesome. And I said, well, if it would be awesome, what's the worst thing that could happen to you? And then she started to bite her bottom lip. Her eyes were closed and she said, oh my God, I'd have to go back to work. And I said, and if you had to go back to work, what's the worst thing that could happen to you? She said, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to spend that much time with my husband. We've traveled. They had the wherewithal that they could travel to different areas, different countries to seek alternative cures for this cancer. And so her cancer, her illness was serving her. And she was keeping it. So I said, do I have your permission to ask the Creator to download to you what it feels like to be able to put boundaries on your time, and that you can have a loving, fulfilling relationship with your husband without calling in an illness? And she said yes. And so that's digging, feeling work. And within seconds, her entire color in her face shifted from a grayish tone to peaches and cream. And I looked at her when I opened my eyes. I said, oh my gosh, your face is so different. Go look in the mirror. And she looked in the mirror and she started to cry. And she said, oh my God, Pam, I haven't seen this face in over 2 years. And that was just that quickly, that was shifted by changing her belief in having her, how her illness served her. She didn't have that consciously, but subconsciously, her illness served her.
Yes.
And so that's just one little example, but just huge, of what can shift when we get rid of limiting beliefs.
Beautiful, Pam. You have the best stories. And yes, it's so true. It really is the magic of doing this deep inner work and the magic of theta healing on the subconscious brain and on the body's DNA of shedding these limiting beliefs. And I'm curious, you spoke earlier around women's sort of limiting, limiting thoughts and beliefs around love and around feeling like, love is something that is outside of them and they can't find love and all of that. And when you have women that come to you that are, challenged in these areas, can you just tell us a little bit about your experience and watching women sort of shift these beliefs and how it's impacting their lives?
The words we say to ourselves are so powerful. Our words are so very powerful. And so oftentimes women say, there's no one out there for me. I'll never find anyone. All the good ones are gone. Well, you're throwing out to the universe that message. So that's what will come to them. And so when I hear their self-talk, I remind them, this is what you're sending out there. So let's see, and we use kinesiology, muscle testing, to find whether or not a person has a certain belief. So I'll just ask them, let's muscle test that belief. All the good men are gone on my core level, on my they may carry that belief. And so when we shift it, they now are open to having all the good men show up. And, or, no one will ever love me. I'll never be loved. I don't even know what it feels like to be loved. Well, there's an aspect with theta healing where we can ask the universe, we use the word creator in theta healing, to download the feeling of what it feels like to be loved. If someone has never known what it feels like to be loved, it could come to them, but they don't even know what that feeling is.
Yeah.
And they negate it, not consciously. And so we can download creator's definition of what it feels like to be loved. And now they have that feeling and they know what it feels like. So when it does come to them, they're open to receiving it. And it's just so much to get into, but it's just so exciting. It changes people's lives. It is so awesome. Other people aren't worthy. I find a lot of women do not feel worthy of love. A lot of people do not know what it feels like to love themselves. And so that's huge. I was one of those people. I was in a bad relation. I got out of a relationship that really did not serve me. And I spent a lot of years and a lot of energy and a lot of love, giving a lot of love to this person. And I was 38 years old. And someone said to me, I want you to write down 20 things that you like, Pam. 20 things. I got to 5. I could write down 20 things that my mate liked, that my children liked. I would go to the grocery store. Oh, my mate likes this. My son likes this. My daughter likes this. And I would buy. But I couldn't tell you what I liked. That was scary. Almost 40 years old. And I couldn't write down 20 things that I liked. But I could fill pages on what other people liked.
Yeah.
And so knowing that and now having this fabulous tool, I can help women find out what they like. Are they worthy of having it? Do they feel worthy of having it? Do they feel worthy of having to walk the planet being who they are?
Yeah.
Not what someone else, not playing a role. Not that that's bad, but when you play a role of what someone else wants you to be or what you're expected to be, that's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can finally stand in truth and say, this is who I am.
Yes.
And I'm damn proud of who
Yes.
I am, is such a great feeling. And it keeps you young. I'm going to be 75. That number doesn't compute, but I'm so damn excited because so many people don't have the gift to have said, I'm 75. They've left the planet way before time. I still don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up, but this is an awesome path.
And you can hear it in your voice. I mean, you're so vibrant. You know, people can't see you right now, but you look so vibrant and radiant. And, you know, it really does show you it's what's on the inside and where we are at in our bodies and our own sort of, our own energy that really is what we give out to the world. And age becomes completely completely just a number, because you are like one of the most vibrant people I know. It's like when you say you're in your 70s, I'm like, oh yeah, you are, but I would never think that. And yeah, you know, I'm really curious about when you were talking a moment ago about these women and how they're carrying these beliefs around, I'm not worthy of love, or uh, your own experience around really being focused on others and taking care of everyone else around you, but not being able to really know who you are on the inside. You know, this is you a long time ago. But I'm curious about, how often do you find that on the history level and on the genetic level that there are beliefs that are kind of the big cause for these beliefs that we're talking about around unworthiness and not being able to take care of ourselves and love ourselves first?
Yes, that is very often. And so, especially as women, just think of how your ancestors lived. Were they encouraged? Were they encouraged to step out and be who they are? No. I find it very rare that someone said, well, my mother was able to do this and go out and be who she wanted to be. We've been taught that be grateful for what you have. Don't reach too high. Don't be too smart. Don't be the smart. In my generation, don't be too smart, because boys don't like girls who are smart. And so that's shifted big time. But now I think the pendulum is shifting back a little bit, thinking we can be who we are, but we also can have that softness. We don't have to have the ruggedness to be in the man's world, that we can be a soft, beautiful, loving, giving, caring, sharing, heart-centered female, and still have, I call it the iron fist in a velvet glove, and have the strength, once we get rid of these limiting beliefs that we've carried, that we're so worthy and we are so awesome.
Yeah.
And the planet is acknowledging this beauty and this awesomeness. And we're coming back into a matriarchal society. And that is being a society that is going to be ruled by the heart. The patriarchal society that has run this planet for over 5,000 years always ruled by fear. Fear doesn't change anything. And this is why we're seeing the shift on so many levels. And I am so proud to be alive. This is why we all came to walk the planet at this time. We wanted to play our role in this beautiful shift of having Mother Earth being mothered with heart-centered, not fear-centered.
And if there's a woman right now listening to this that's in fear, whether it's from the coronavirus, which is, you know, just getting to really be at its sort of height right now, and it's a really scary time, or perhaps it's a situation in her life that she's going through that's causing her to be scared, what would you say to her right now?
It's okay to be scared. It's okay, but we can't stay there. Fear is the lowest vibration on the planet. And when we are in fear-based energy, we just go into a downward spiral. Easier said than done to get out of that. Start thinking, think of positive things. And that is so trite and so, and I can remember when I was in that fear-based situation and people would say those words to me, I would be like, ugh, I don't even have the energy to think of a positive thought. but know that this is just a blip in time. We need the thunder and the lightning in order to have the rainbow. And this is just thunder and lightning. This situation now on the planet is getting ready for this fabulous rebirth of heart-centered leadership and love. Just like giving birth. When they're saying, oh my gosh, this is push one more time, and a woman thinks, I can't even do that. And then as soon as it's over, you go, oh my God, you forget, look at this beautiful big, oh my goodness, that was so beautiful. I love it. Same thing is happening.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I don't want to sound Pollyanna-ish, but I truly in my bone marrow believe that we are so blessed to be part of this shift. And every woman who chose to listen to this podcast is playing a very important role in this transformation. Yeah. And it's all going to be for the best.
Yes.
God only sends you angels. You're surrounded by angels. There are more angels on this planet now, more light beings. They've all come to help everyone, whether you believe in angels or not, but there are more. It is amazing. And it's a great time. And who's ever listening to this, you chose to listen to it for a reason. And the reason is you're playing a very important role. And we just need to get the cobwebs, the limiting beliefs shifted. And watch out, your life is going to turn into something magical. I had a good life before I was introduced to Theta Healing. My life is magical. And isn't that awesome to say, I have a magical life? Even though the things around me, I would like to change. It's how we respond, how we're going to accept the things around you. It's how you respond to them, not react.
I know there's a story that you tell. I don't know if you'd feel good about telling it now, but it involves you sitting in your home in beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida, and a bullet coming through the ceiling. Would you tell that now?
Sure. New Year's Eve, 2016, my husband, I wanted to go out. I hadn't been out New Year's Eve in forever. And so we went out to dinner and to this little intimate club that had live music. And around 11 o'clock, I wanted to come home, to get home before the crazies were on the street. And so I came home, changed my clothes. And in St. Pete, we have a lanai. That's just another name for a sunroom, glass sunroom. And so we were watching TV. I was watching the ball drop in Times Square at midnight. My husband and I kissed each other. We were sitting in a love seat. We leaned over, kissed each other, Happy New Year. And in that moment, I heard this loud bang. And it was so loud, I thought the TV exploded. But the TV was fine. And I looked up and I saw a hole in our ceiling. And I went, oh my God, Rick, there's a hole in our ceiling. Something came through, something happened on our roof. And he said, oh, a firecracker must have gone off on our roof, because right at midnight in St. Pete, everyone starts shooting off firecrackers. And so as I looked down, I said, firecrackers don't go off on people's roofs. And as I looked down, I saw a gold little stone, I thought, by my toe. And I reached down, and it was warm, and it was a bullet. A bullet had come through my roof. Some cultures in our area shoot guns in the air in celebration, not realizing that the bullets do have to come down. And so this was an example of that. So I said, I'm calling the police. And Rick said, don't call the police. I said, I'm calling. So I called the police and said, this is not an emergency, but I had a bullet come through my roof. And so the dispatcher said, we'll send an officer right over. The officer came and said, whoa, where were you? And I said, we were sitting right here on the couch. And he says, no, when it happened. And I said, right here. And he said, do you know how lucky you are? Do you know how lucky you are? So the more he asked me, do I know how lucky I am? The more was getting more and more nervous. So they called forensics to come in to take pictures. That officer also said the same thing. They said this bullet could have gone off up at least 2 miles away, and that it gains momentum as the bullet comes down. So anyway, the next morning, New Year's Day, my husband was in a golf tournament. And I was standing in the doorway looking up at the ceiling, and I kept going in my mind, oh my God, what would have happened? Because the bullet went right past my head. In fact, the paint from the ceiling was in my hair. And I was thinking, oh my God, if it hit me, I just wanted to be dead. I didn't want to be brain dead. Oh my God, what would happen to Rick? What would have happened to us? And as I was thinking all of those things, I started feeling physically sick. I was gagging. I was shaking. And as this was happening, I was in my house alone. Something shook me, like someone took me by my shoulders and shook me. And I heard the words as though someone was standing right there. This did not happen. Don't replay things that did not happen. And then an energy of peace came over me. And I realized, that's right. I was playing in my mind something that didn't happen. All scenarios of, oh my God, what would have happened if it hit Rick? What would have happened if and getting myself physically ill. And my message for 2016 was be fearless. That God has my back. And we can either live in fear or live in gratitude and faith. And so I am fearless. That's my message. That was my message. It doesn't mean being stupid. There's a difference between being fearless and stupid. Yeah. But that, yes.
And if there's a woman on here listening that goes, yeah, wow, what a story. That is incredible. And how the heck do I live fearlessly? What would you say to her?
Getting up every day is living fearlessly. And we now have choices. We can allow the situation around us to bring us down, or we can make choices. We can choose to say, okay, what do I have to be grateful for today? Look at me. I look at myself and everybody says, I say this, bitch, you're going to be with me all day. You better have a smile on that face. You better have a really good attitude because you're going to be with me all day. And so for me, it's not that bad things don't happen to me. It's just, I know that I'm not going to relive it. I'm not going to play worst case scenarios. I'm going to get over it, maybe wallow for a little bit. That's okay. And then get over it, not replay it. I know so many women who are still replaying divorces they had 20 years ago. Well, you know what happened to me 20 years ago. No, that's gone. But they carry it like a martyr. And we don't want that. Yeah. We want to move forward. Yes, that happened. Now what? Each day, getting up is fearless.
Yep.
Getting out of bed is fearless.
I love that you said that, because it's so true. You were speaking earlier about hoarding emotions and how women tend to, in your experience, hoard things like anger and resentment and regret. And then, mixing in, past pain around the divorce and everything. It's like that plays into that so perfectly. And we can literally live in the vibration of something that has happened to us many years ago, if not other lifetimes ago, or like you were talking earlier, to our parents, our mother, our grandmother. And I feel like there really is a switch when we go, okay, I'm going to choose a different experience. That feels so fearless, because our body, right? I'm sure you would agree with this, actually knows the vibration of that anger. And that's the like homeostasis that we're in. So it feels really fearless to go, okay, this is familiar. this is what I've known, and I'm going to choose something different.
Exactly. And with theta healing, we can release the trauma that you carry, trauma that you're not even aware of, trauma that an ancestor carried. And when I have my clients and something that happened to maybe an ancestor or their mother, and it's released in them, they literally feel weights being taken off their shoulders. They feel lighter because they're not carrying that heaviness. So that's one of the gifts of theta healing also, is that we can release the old trauma, release the pain, release the anger, and have room for the healing.
And how often do you find that people are actually carrying trauma that they don't even know about?
Always. Everyone I meet with is carrying some sort of trauma that they're not aware of. Maybe something that their ancestors carried, their mom carried, or whatever. And once it's let they go, they have a realization. That's right. I've always felt that way, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I felt this way. I didn't know why I carried that fear. And so once it's released, they feel totally different. They can look at situations with new eyes, not through the veil of fear, anger, doubt.
Beautiful.
Worthlessness.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know as a certificate of science and master instructor of theta healing that you train a lot of people to be theta healing practitioners, and people do this even if they don't go on to actually be practitioners themselves. You find that a lot of people come and complete your various courses and trainings. Why do you think that is? Why is it so popular?
Well, basically, I think it's so simple, and it's our birthright. This is how we're supposed to live. And I'm not teaching them anything they don't already know. I'm just turning on the switch. And for me, it's the best gift. The best gift. It's the paycheck of the heart for me when I see before my very eyes the shifts in their perception, in how they look at themselves, how they look at the world. And it's amazing. So I'm just turning on the switch. This is our birthright. This is how we're supposed to live.
I love that imagery, turning on the switch. You know, I had never heard of theta healing, and gosh, maybe about 16 months ago or so, a good friend of mine told me about it and introduced me to you, and that's exactly what it felt like for me. I knew that there were things that needed to shift, and I wanted to go on that journey, and I was curious, and it felt like something got turned on, and ever since then, it has been profoundly different and has felt so good inside to feel the connection and to know that I can go into the theta brainwave whenever I need to, or do work with you and feel the difference. I'm curious if you could talk a little more just about the brainwave and just what it's like to actually connect into that, because people are like, brainwave, theta, I don't quite understand all of that.
Okay. So there are 5 brain waves: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta. And the theta brainwave is a brainwave. It's like a deep sleep. It's not, you're not asleep, but it's that brainwave before. And this is where we connect with source energy. And in this theta healing state, in this theta brainwave, that's the quantum physics side of theta healing. We can connect with, there's a meditation that I teach my students, and it's very easy, very simple, but very, very powerful. And once they learn that meditation, they are able to witness co-creating the life that they want with Creator, the universe. And rather than keep getting what is given to them. They can now shift. Did that answer it? It's hard to, it's not difficult to explain. It's easier to witness it and have it, the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a word that you actually hear, I think, more than you realize, or people hear more than they realize. Theta this, theta that, because yeah, like you said, it's a part of quantum physics. And yet what theta healing does in my experience is it makes it really accessible and really easy to do.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
anyone can have that lasting change that they want and be able to do the work both on themselves and with a master healing practitioner like yourself.
It's Bruce Lipton talks a lot about the theta brainwave. A lot of these wonderful lecturers and quantum physics people are really understanding. They've always understood it, but they're seeing how powerful and how we're moving in and out of the quantum field even faster now. These next 10 years are going to be, we're going to see the earth and our lives change dramatically because our vibration is being raised.
Yeah.
And so what seems like chaos isn't really chaos now. It's just getting us moving to be aligned with this new higher vibration. And we're going to see shifts, that more shifts than in the last 10,000 years are going to happen in these next 10 years. And it is so, I'm so excited, and it's so exciting to be alive at this time. And everything is happening in divine order.
Yes,
And not to get
absolutely.
bogged down in the fear.
Yes.
But,
yes.
yes.
And I love the idea of getting the download and letting the guidance come through, and to tie it into what we were talking about earlier, getting out of our own way. I know you get downloads so often, and I've been in your classes and you're just like, this is what creator told me. And it's so profound what comes out of you. We've even heard some of that today. How do you do that? How would someone listening to this be able to get those downloads? I can imagine someone going, yeah, I meditate and I sit there and okay, I'm trying to get out of my own way. I'm trying not to live from this place of fear, but I'm not feeling tapped into creator to get those downloads and those pieces of guidance.
They can find, I think, reading and whatever, I would say, whatever path they're guided to follow. There are many paths up the mountain, and theta healing is one of them. This may resonate with some people, and some people may say, no, I don't really, that doesn't resonate with me. But if it does resonate with them, I would suggest getting in touch with a theta healing practitioner. There are many, many good ones all across the country, all across the world, and experiencing for themselves the experience of having a theta healing session. My sessions are about an hour. And or anybody else, ThetaHealing.com is where they could find fabulous, experienced practitioners. Or they could contact me. I would love to hear from them. And my website is Pam Lord, PAMLORD, at live.com. And my information is there. How to get in touch with me, and again, or ThetaHealing.com. And that would be a nice first step. There are many other fabulous modalities out there also. I'm not familiar with all of them. I'm a master at Theta Healing. So whatever you're drawn to is the right path, because the view from the mountain is all the same. It's awesome.
Yes. And I can't recommend Theta Healing enough. I'm trying it out. Pam is an incredible practitioner and really is a master at her craft. And she holds such a beautiful energy and space, and I trust her implicitly. And if anyone listening to this wants to give it a try, I absolutely recommend going over to her website and checking her out, pamlord.com. And do you also want to share your email if people want to reach out to you directly, Pam?
Yes, it's P Flynn, FLYNN hyphen Lord, LORD at live.com. LIVE.com. Did I may have given the wrong, my website is pamlord.com. I think I said live.com.
Pamlord.com.
Yes. Unless my mind was just being befuddled with these things because I'm so not techie. Erase. No.
You are great, Pam, and I love having you on here today. I think Theta is such a powerful practice and experience, and I really encourage anyone that's curious to check you out, to have a session, to even consider coming to one of your courses or classes taught in your home in St. Petersburg. It's beautiful. It's on the water. And yeah, if people resonate with this, or perhaps someone listening to this already knows Theta Healing, Pam is a great instructor and an ally in this heart opening, awakening, deep dive into femininity and the awakening on the planet of just an incredible shift of the heart. And I'm so grateful you came on today and shared your story and your wisdom and the magic of Theta Healing with all of us, Pam.
Oh, thank you. And to everybody out there, you're all so special. You're all so unique. And don't let anyone just dampen that spark that you have inside. And whatever it takes to just get that spark alive, do it.
Beautiful. Yes, I wholeheartedly echo that. What a beautiful way to end today. Thanks again, Pam.
Thank you.